Dzień dobry, assalamu alaikum, ciao, konnichiwa, guten morgen, bonjour, hola. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's Ken at 10. How are you today? Hope you're doing well. Here we are again. If you're just joining us for the first time, thanks so much for doing that. If you're coming back, then welcome. Thanks much more for joining us, talking about all things property here in southwest London, Norbury, which is situated between Streatham and Croydon. Because we always get asked, because we're quite a small area, and people say, Norbury, where's that? Well, that's where we are. How are you today? Hope you're doing well. We talk about all things property. A few interesting things for you today. I mentioned a little while ago that Lloyds Bank are getting involved in the property market and are going to become the UK's largest landlord. That's an intriguing and interesting trend, isn't it? So I'm going to get into that in a minute. We've also got the average house prices for SW16 and how they've changed from the Rightmove statistics file, which also make quite interesting reading and probably will surprise some of you. Apart from that, the weather here in Norbury, it's a beautiful day. It's absolutely stonking. It's got beautiful sunshine, lovely blue skies. It's got that kind of autumnal feel, a little bit of breeze around, but really, really nice. So I hope you're having a good day so far. We've got quite a busy day. Someone was sick today, which always makes the diaries double busy, you know, when you're kind of thinking, oh, what do we need to do there? What do we need to cancel? How can we change things? So yeah, in terms of what's going on, let's have a look at this. Is an article that I found in Letting Agent today. And this is an interesting one because I just like the fact that, you know, Lloyds being one of the biggest banks in the UK are all of a sudden interested in property. And this is the article from Letting Agent today. An investment firm has flagged up the recently announced move by Lloyds Bank to enter the private sector as hedging against inflation and currency devaluation. This is something we've been saying for a while, is that when you've got inflation, the value of the pound in the bank goes down. If inflation is running at 5% and you've got £100 in the bank, then by the end of the year, you've actually got the purchasing power of only £95. You've lost £5, which is why you need to, what we call, hedge against it. And one of the greatest hedges against inflation is property. Why? Because property tends to go up in line or above inflation, plus rentals, if you're a landlord, tend to go up in line or above inflation as well. So if you add the two things together, you end up with something that's going to be a really good hedge against inflation for you and will protect you and protect your money. And that's why many people become landlords, and certainly Lloyds are no exception. So let's look at what they're saying. Lloyds Banking Group has launched a new brand called Citra Living, through which it aims to be the UK's largest private landlord. The High Street Bank has plans to acquire 50,000 properties over the coming decade. But what can we take from this? Well, according to a team of financial and property experts at Fabric Invest, Lloyds' designs on the private sector reveal plenty. Dale Anderson, the managing director of Fabric Invest, said, if banks are buying property, this indicates that they are hedging against potential inflation and the potential devaluation of the pound. With everything going on in the world, banks and governments naturally had to take into account quantitative easing, which means they're printing more money to stimulate the economy. When you provide more money, then obviously the value of the money in circulation goes down, and hence you get inflation. And then things become affordable, so you need wage rises to counter the inflation, and then those wage rises provoke further inflation. The UK's record low borrowing rates also come into play, Fabric says, with banks jumping on the bandwagon and investing. Other corporates and larger clients are doing the same, meaning we're likely to see more larger funds and family offices. Family offices they're like private funds of the mega wealthy, where they're managed by professionals on behalf of wealthy individuals, and basically they're huge investment tranches of money, and they're investing in bulk purchases in property over the months ahead, Anderson added. The firm also says other factors at play too, with Anderson flagging cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin as an example. Inflation and monetary value aren't what they used to be. Cryptocurrencies have given people more control over assets and banks less so. So that's a factor that's feeding into Lloyd's move as well. Then, of course, there's a traditional position of bricks and mortar being a safe haven in times of economic uncertainty. Well, certainly we all know that to be true. And certainly the pandemic has proven that more than anything else. As inflation rises and the price of things go up, Fabric says individuals and enterprises alike will be looking to invest in bricks and mortar, along with other hard assets such as gold, silver and land. It's a pattern that's played out many times over recent decades, the company insists. Lastly, Fabric says the housing market itself is there to consider, with demand continuing to outstrip supply. By land, they're not making any more. As a country, we haven't been building enough houses fast enough for years. Also true. That underlying lack of supply means the property sector is a safe bet for Lloyds. With uncertain economic times on the horizon, we're likely to see many large institutions looking to the housing sector to provide solid medium to long-term investment potential. It's an encouraging sign for individual investors, and it shows the validity of property as an investment and a money-making strategy. It does, doesn't it? It vindicates you if you're investing in property, especially if you're doing it via a limited company at the moment. Also, some stats today for you. Looked on Rightmove, sent through the latest numbers and average prices, which here in SW16 is a very big area. We're in Norbury, which is south of the borough. There's also Streatham, which forms part of SW16, actually the largest part of it. And Streatham prices are higher than Norbury prices, so the figures are a little skewed by that. But it still gives you a good handle on what the prices are locally here in your local town. So the average prices for houses in the area: 1 bedroom, 252,000, 2 bedroom, 538,000. 3 bedrooms, 645,000, 4 bedrooms, 850,000, and 5 bedroom, 1 million. And then the average flat prices go from 310,000 for a 1 bedroom to 495,000 for a 2. Well, we find that not to be true. In fact, the flat prices, as we'll see from the general mean averages when we look at the land registry data, which we're going to do now, start from a lot lower than that. But the overall prices are quite interesting and quite telling. If we look at the land registry data from December 2020, the average price of all houses sold in SW16 was £566,403. And today, the average price of all the sold properties is £569,458. There's not a vast difference there, is there? And that's quite an eye-opener, isn't it? A lot of people think that there's been huge differences. And it's true, there is a shortage of supply in certain sectors of the market, but there's also other sectors of the market that aren't quite so busy. So a mixed picture then. But at the moment, what we're finding is undersupply, and that's driving prices. Of course, these statistics that I've just read out, they do lag the market. So we can expect to see some stronger than expected figures coming through, is my gut feeling, in terms of house prices locally. Apart from that, nationally, the picture seems much the same, really, with the outlying areas still picking up good ground. London increasing, certainly on the rental side, it's nuts out there. You know, we're finding lots of demand from good quality professional tenants. So if that's something you're thinking of doing, do let us know. Aside from that, thanks for watching today. We'll be back tomorrow, another Ken at 10. Until then, have a fantastic day. Look after your family and friends. We'll see you then. Ciao.